Delaware in the building. Y'all ain't ready for the Delaware takeover. Y'all not ready for this unique style and creativity that everybody in the world wants to see. Nas and Jay is bringing it. And everything they bring got that Delaware.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody, Naj and Jay here. Welcome! It's Monday!
Yeah.
Hey!
And we are one day away from spring. So
What? Really?
Yeah, tomorrow's the first day of spring.
That's why the birds were so loud yesterday.
Yeah.
They was out there, they was gathered, honey. They was having tea time, chirping it up.
Yep.
Talking about the neighborhood birds.
Yeah, springtime. Yeah.
You want to show everybody our shirts?
Yeah, you can go ahead and give me.
I was at Five Below and I saw these and it made me think of us because I swear to God, because Jay does not like peopling. So we try to, you know, that kind of looks like animatronics. It doesn't look real and I'm grossed out.
You should be.
But literally, Jay be like, okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna do what we gotta do. We're gonna head out. So I was like, this is the perfect.
Sorry, go ahead.
I got it at Five Below. And I got this shirt. I didn't bring it, but I should have brought it. It is a cat tapestry. And it's a cat, a meowster piece.
That's awful. Yeah.
I cannot wait to wear it. I will make sure that you guys see it. Welcome to your morning sip of local news, what's happening, and
real world mess.
Look at you doing your homework.
It only took me a long time.
You know, 12 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine.
Keep going.
Ew!
I'm still clogged.
They can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the mic.
Yeah.
That was so trashy. Oh.
Stomach growl. This week it's me.
You can handle
spring again. Everybody know it's spring again. So the allergies are tearing me up. Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. That was gross.
Make sure you listen to a replay of this show on WJVSradio.com, Delaware's own Grown Folks Radio. Happy Women's History Month. It's still ongoing. Real quick, today we're going to talk about a gator named Albert, women's history, of course, and bloodbath talk.
Yeah.
Ciao. So for my Women's History Month fact, I chose the voting rights. So Congress passed June 4th, 1919, the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote, and it was ratified on August 18th, 1920. But all American women, that includes Black women, women of color, they couldn't vote until 1965 when President Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act. It provided for direct federal intervention to enable African Americans to register and vote and ban tactics long designed to keep them from the polls. So
considering that this country's been here for about 400 plus years after, wait, let me make sure I do my math as I'm clogged up. Well, 1776. So yeah, just think about the fact that the Constitution was written in 1776. And at that point, it was saying that, like, you know, we the people, all men are created equal, men. And it speaks boldly and loudly to the fact that despite our Constitution being pretty well written, in my opinion, and having a lot of the right ideals that fundamentally, from obviously slavery and Black people to women, they were just excluded, bless you, and treated literally as either second-class citizens or as animals. So, you know, when we spend time on the show and when you see me ranting on the Facebooks about the fact that we still haven't really met the American dream, it's stuff like this. You know, women have only been voting for 100 years in this country, and Black women, you know, like that is the 60s on my mom's
Black
generation.
Less than
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
years,
So like
yeah.
my mom would have been under that if she was 18 at the time. She wasn't, but like she was in that space, which is wild. But a generation ago, Black women couldn't vote. And let's think about how much they've taken over politically as we move to the next person eventually. But it speaks so clearly and loudly to the fact that despite that our document was reasonably well written, it never included everyone really in terms of how it behaved. Our country has never really met the true promise, and that's why we have to keep pushing forward and you know, making waves that make people comfortable so that we can really become the place that we want. So, yeah.
So I was having a conversation with someone about, you know, the strides that women have made and Black people have made, right? And I said, if you think about it, so a lot of people complain about how Blacks, the Black peoples, the people of color, like they have all the opportunities and there's been enough time. And we have to constantly remind people that we have only really had less than 100 years to, well, we've only, what, 200, it's been 200 years since, or 100 years since slavery, right?
Yes.
And then we have all of the things that we've been fighting for. So last, in the 1900s, like that's when everything really started to like move. There are people who are still alive today who experienced, you know, things that we'll never see, but they're still touchable. And I was like, people need to realize it's the same thing for women. Like the reason why a lot of men have issues with like possession issues with women or not respecting them and their place in society, it's the same thing, not the same thing, but it's similar to the fight that Black people have had in timing, because women, like it says here, only since 1920 were women allowed to vote. And then 1965 were Black women also allowed to vote. So we were fighting a lot of fights together.
It took an entire generation to get Black women to enter that fold, which is
yes,
obviously absurd.
So it's very loaded. And I think people really need to do more research. They need to take the time to really understand where we come from and how deep this goes.
And how, just the fact that just in terms of like the number of years, we aren't that far removed from the civil rights era.
Yeah.
My dad, I will say this over and over again, my dad is one of the Black people who had to drink from the Black drinking fountain. You know, he had to sit in the bag, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So and clearly, as we have two men running for president who are older than my dad.
My God, we need to just.
But that clearly tells you that there are still a lot of people alive who absolutely would like to go back to that point in time.
And we'll talk more about that.
But it's really important to remember that, like, and I don't know, I didn't intend on being in this space right now today.
Do we ever?
Right, right. But I, you know, as I articulated again, it just like it reminds me that, like, in as much as I have a lot more freedom than my dad and I live a way different existence than him, we are one step away from a very different existence that most people in my age range and younger really can't fathom.
And we are quickly, we call it regressing.
In some ways we are.
I mean, so we're talking about women's voting, right? Let's also talk about women's reproductive rights. What's happening with that?
Yeah.
Because what was that, 1975?
I don't know, but
Roe versus Wade,
right.
It was in that area, okay? And now we've overturned it, and we're quickly changing a lot about women's reproductive rights. What's next? What is next, child?
Yeah, and I'll end with this on that point. Like, I still think it's pretty clear, at least in Delaware, I think statistically, schools are more segregated now than they were, which is wild. So I'll leave it at that.
And to change the mood, we're going to recognize.
It ain't gonna change that much because Shanae is a fighter in the best way possible. Mm-hmm. So I think we have one more week to honor women, and I wanted to make sure that I honored Shanae Darby because she has proven herself to be fearless in advancing the things that she believes in. And the things that she believes in, I am aligned with. And she was recently recognized by the News Journal as being a leader in the women's health field, like one of the what's the awards that they have going on right now? Most influential. And
I was so off in my brain.
Yeah, no, but I didn't expect that. I was honestly surprised they honored her at all because she's such a firebrand in a good way. So just that alone is really cool. But like, listen, she has spoken out loudly about the things that she feels need to be changed, and she doesn't mince her words, and she shows more courage than most of the men who work in politics. And kudos to her for being brave and bold and for fighting for what is right.
Yeah. I could say a lot. But the what I will say, I'm going to speak to the fight for women's health. A lot of people think that women's health is just wrapped around women's reproductive health. And it's not. It's not just about our baby maker. Women's health is just as important as men's health. And for some reason, we all know why, it's still a struggle to get the help that we need. And then as a Black woman, it's even harder. I mean, the statistics, I can't give you the exact numbers, but I can say that doctors are less likely to believe Black women about pain and aches and ailments. Black women die more because of childbirth. Like they're dying at faster rates than white women and other women of color. So the fact that she is taking on this fight and loudly and proudly, it means a lot, because we need people in our corner to, help people recognize that this is an issue. So Shanae, we love you. You know, you got us, girl, and we got you. So happy Women's History Month. Woo. Okay. Flowers.
Oh, okay. So let me get this pulled up. We'll start with my good brother. I mean, you go with yours and I'll pull him up.
What?
Do you have flowers for anyone?
No, I don't.
Okay, so we have one set of flowers to be given out. And they go to our brother, Sam Wilson, for this. All right. This is his first official magazine cover. He's on the cover of Delaware Today.
Look at that.
He took that picture, and it was cool. Actually, Joe Del Tufo showed me the picture before it was on the magazine because he was so excited for Sam. So, Sam is our brother. He's a long-term brother to me. And I am just super proud of him for doing something significant with his art. I've said this before. I will say it over and over and over again. Well, I used to say that if you like his photography, listen to him rap because he's way better at that. And his photography is excellent when I said that. But now we're getting to a point
where it's like, wait a minute.
Where it's like, if you like his photography and can recognize that it's phenomenal, you should also listen to it because it's also like he's kind of catching up. And it's, and he's honestly played a huge role in my growth and knowledge as a photographer. I've basically like, Sam, and help. And, that's all because of him. So it really is awesome to see anyone take on a craft, start to develop mastery, and to see those things pay off in a public way. So we love you, brother. Congrats on that cover. And we know that you will continue to do great things, both photographically and musically.
Yes. Flowers to you.
Yeah.
All right. We going outside. What's happening outside?
Mucho.
Okay. So at the bar 13, Delaware, XIII. That's 13, right? Yeah. There's a comedy night.
Bam.
On Philly Pike. Join us for an evening of stand-up comedy and music from some of the best up-and-coming local talent. No cover, 21 with ID, free parking. That's a big deal because I don't know what's going on, but lately parking has been ridiculous. Sign up start at 8:30 and open mic starts at 9. And you can email the host at fenwristwins@yahoo.com. So yeah, go on, have yourself a good time and go sign up and tell some stand-up comedy. Then we have Thursday, Karaoke every Thursday downstairs at Duffer's Tavern on Route 352 in Glen Mills. Delco's only happy hour karaoke from 6 to 10
I gotta be
p.m.
honest. Do you know where this is? Because I don't.
I have no idea.
Okay, I feel like I've heard of it, but
I've seen that sign. Oh, yes, I do. That's when you go down 202 and it's in the middle. In that, like when you're coming up on the Whole Foods and it's in the middle and it's like a car.
oh, that's that place?
I think that's where it's at.
If that's what it is, I have been there before a long
I've
time
never
ago
been
with
there.
my brother, actually. A long time ago, if that's what it is. But okay, cool.
I want to say that's where it is.
Yeah.
I just want to put this out there. I shared a meme with Jay a couple weeks ago about how we can't do karaoke because we sing too good, and people. Back when I worked at a bank, everybody was like always trying to go to karaoke, and I remember like I had this dilemma because I can go to karaoke, but the problem is I'm not going to sing poorly. That's just not my thing. So you can't be upset when I finally do go up there and I do my thing and then everybody else don't want to sing no more. So it's not fun, but I do karaoke in my house and I do rock music and I rap.
Yeah, that's where all the fun is for me. Like it is sometimes cool to see someone like kill a song during karaoke, but it's more fun, like for me, number one, to just like cover DMX or Tupac because it's so outside of who I actually am.
Yeah.
Or to like sing some, Def Leppard song, like 80s rock and roll, because it's not in my space, but I just yell it and ruin my voice because it's fun. You know what I'm saying?
Or I'll close out karaoke. Like, okay, y'all have had y'all fun. Let me handle this. Let me close it out, set the record straight, let everybody go home happy on a good note. Get it? Get what I did there? On a good note. All right. Sorry. But you can still invite us to karaoke. We just gonna come drink and laugh at you.
No,
we'll come early.
I'm not gonna laugh at you.
We'll see you.
We will show up
and we'll leave.
We will show up. I will certainly have shots, and I will enjoy the camaraderie of the musical experience.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Then we have Saturday, 2 events on Saturday. Delaware chapter of Noble Fire versus Police March Madness fundraiser from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Wait, which one is this?
The
is this that one, this one?
Not that one.
Okay, hold on.
At the POW.
Okay.
On 3707 North Market.
Yeah.
So sign up. Tickets are $10.
Yep, the POW by the McDonald's on Market.
Yeah. And then the next one is First State 3-Pointer Contest.
Bam.
That is from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Chase Field House. Tickets are $25. I tried to do a 3-point shot one time in middle school and I almost broke my face.
What? I don't even know.
Because I did a running start.
It still doesn't make sense to me. You're running this way, the ball
over my own feet.
Oh wow, that's wild.
And it was bad. It was really
that is bad. I'm a horrible basketball player, quite frankly, but that's next level. So yeah.
Listen, I am what I am.
Yeah.
I got all these events off of Eventbrite.
Okay.
So I'm on a social media fast right now. That's why I haven't been posting or like sharing the show. But I have been finding a lot of events on Eventbrite and on Visit Delaware. I think it's called visitdelaware.com or something like that. So you can visit those websites and look up your specific location of where you want to go. And you can also filter it to like the timing, like tomorrow or this week or whatever.
Yeah, I got one more. So this one is this Thursday at the Delaware Art Museum. I am going to be there, honestly, after I have a gig that I have during the day. But I mean, you see the flyer. It's Hezekiah and BB
Wednesday, right?
Thursday.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, Hezekiah and BB Coker. I mean, we've talked about Hezekiah before, and quite frankly, if you're from Wilmington or from Delaware and haven't heard of BB Coker,
or if you're from Philly,
both. So I am genuinely excited about that. Hezekiah is a really unique artist, and he's really, really good.
He had a band called Johnny Popcorn that was amazing.
Yeah, and pairing him with BB is something that I would never do in my own brain, but when I see it, I'm like, oh, this could be fantastic. So they're going to be,
Is this new?
What do you mean?
Have they performed together before?
No.
okay.
This is a very different thing. They're going to be, there's poetry, and it's going to be a good night, and I'm going to be there for sure.
Yeah.
So that's another option for you.
Okay. So that's what's going on outside. Get outside. The weather's beautiful. And enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
What's happening in the local arena?
Yeah, you got it.
No, this one's yours.
Which one?
This one.
Hold on. Oh yeah. So, we just wanted to offer congratulations to Olivia Rubini for moving on with, I think, Teen John Legend, on The Voice. It's super cool to see someone else from Delaware being successful on that show. And we just wanted to make sure that collectively, as Naj and Jay, that we give her flowers, wish her the best of luck, and hope that she wins the whole ding dang thing. Yeah.
Bring home the bacon.
Yeah, simply stated.
Okay. If you haven't heard, the states are in a frenzy because there's a solar eclipse happening. You know what happens with solar eclipses? The aliens come down and they abduct you and suck out your brain, and then they put you back, and then you run for president under the name Trump and try to take over the world. So the next total solar eclipse is on Monday, April 8th. The duration of totality will last for 4 minutes and 27 seconds. They're calling this the Great American Eclipse. Yes. And there is a teacher at Brandywine Springs who has been planning for this for some time. He even got funding to get the specific equipment like glasses and stuff for the kids to see it. We're in Delaware not going to be able to see it fully, but we'll see a part of it or partially. Yeah.
So there's a specific sort of line that goes from south to north, in America specifically, where you'll experience a full eclipse based upon the angle of the sun and all that kind of stuff. So for Delaware, we're not going to see a complete covering of the sun. I don't know why I'm doing all this. I'm trying to half show you guys, but it'll be more like that. But I'm excited for it as a photographer, quite frankly. And there's been a lot of talk about it, and I'm kind of salty about the fact that the time in which it occurs, I will be having to work with my young guys in Wilmington Manor. So I'm going to be that guy, basically, and I'm going to bring my camera to my after-school program, and I'm sure I'll figure out a way to twist it into like a learning moment for them too. But we're going to go outside, and I'm going to take probably the crappiest picture ever of it with a decent camera, just from like, some playground. But I'm excited for it. I wish that I could actually, if I had a day off, I would drive to Cleveland, because in Cleveland, you can see the whole thing. But if you are a stargazer and are, I kind of can't wait. Like, don't you feel like this is a situation where all the people who say Mercury is in a retrograde?
Oh my God. If y'all ain't all, I better see a post from every single one of y'all.
Yeah, every bit of negative. I don't know how it will get twisted, but every bit of either negative or
extremely positive.
Good luck will be attributed to the eclipse, which is fine. Do you, boo? But I'm thinking about all these things at once.
It is advised that onlookers choose to get glasses that meet the requirements of ISO 12312-2 international standard. So yes, and you can get them from the American Astronomical Society. Shut the freak up!
I like watching you trip.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut your mouth! I think I need
trying to say that was like throwing
because I'm rushing. Like, I'm not trying to take forever, and then like
that's an interesting excuse.
Okay. You're a terrible person. Okay. Viola Davis and Barbie.
Yeah. Let me just show you guys. I mean, there's not a whole lot to add to it. I just think it's super duper dippity duper cool.
Super duper.
Yeah, I made that up right now.
Duper.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Like, check it out. The good sister Viola has a Viola, has a Barbie.
I love that.
I mean, come on, guys.
They did good with the face.
Like, when you talk about...
they did good with the hair.
Like, listen, we still have not gotten as far as we need to in terms of women's rights, and in terms of, rights and treating African-American women properly and represented properly. But this is a good step in the right direction for Barbie. You know what I'm saying? And for all of us, because clearly representation matters. They did a great job with this, and I saw it and had to say something because everybody loves Viola.
Yeah. Viola.
Listen, Sorry.
I slap you.
Listen, it's an logical goal, and we both have our speech impediments over here. I can't say Viola. Yeah.
That is our professionalism. Stumbling over words.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Dump Trump has been on a tirade yet again. It's never stopped.
No.
And he, on Saturday, was at one of his
Cult
thug
rallies.
meetings.
Yeah.
And said, and I quote, "Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it."
I'm glad that he learned from January 6th. It's great to know.
And he also said, hold on. I got to read this. He said he has referred to the people who are in prison for the crimes of January 6th. He's referred to them as hostages. They've been treated terribly and very unfairly. And you know that, and everybody knows that. And we're going to be working on that as soon as the first day we get into office. We're going to save our country, and we're going to work with people to treat those unbelievable patriots.
Yeah, I'm in this terrible place.
He also referred to undocumented immigrants as not people.
Like, he's so ridiculous that he makes me chuckle. I'm not laughing. Like, that's wrong. It's bad. But it's like, Jesus, like, oh my gosh.
My thing is, how can you listen to him and say, yes, you need to run my country. You need to run our country because that sounds logical. That sounds right. How does that make sense? How? What in your brain says, yeah, let me do that? Now, listen, I'm not saying that Uncle Joe has done the best job. I'm going to be honest. I really don't follow what he does because I'm worried about the local region. Okay, that's what I worry about. I don't know, but I do know he is not disgusting like Donald Trump. He's not disgusting and saying disgusting things about our American people. So
I have deep concerns about both of our.
Oh yes, the fact that they're almost 100, that's a big deal, and they're running our country. Like, where are all the young people running for president?
They maybe understand that it's a crap job.
All right, Jay, it's time we step up. Oh wait, no, I got to be at least 35, don't I?
Yeah.
I'm too young.
I am genuinely concerned about our presidential choices because I'm reaching a point where I really just have I'm
Who's the write-in independent?
As I get older, I bite my tongue less and less, and neither of our choices are the best of what America has to offer at this point, for sure. And at some point in time, like I remember, this is such a long time ago now, when I was excited to vote for Barack Obama, and I have concerns with him post-Obama, but I remember like wanting to vote for somebody. And I wish I had that feeling, number one, and I hate that I at least keep ending up in the situation where it's like, yo, I have to vote for someone because the other person is so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of back there again, because I have to be very clear that I have deep concerns about Biden, and like in many ways, and far past, like you could throw age out the door.
Yeah.
And that's not, and I still have a list of questions, you know, all of the aid that we're sending over to Israel to, you know, just absolutely brutalize, Palestine. It's awful. It's a horrible thing. And that's one of the concerns. But Trump has proven himself time and time again to be so awful that it's like, I would love to do a write-in candidate or like vote for, you know, a third party candidate, but it's like still can't take that risk.
So this is out there.
Yeah.
But if we're thinking about the zombie apocalypse, okay, and we come down to it, and you're in the mall, and somebody says, "I want to be the leader."
Mm-hmm.
Trump is the person that would sacrifice all of you so he could have the mall by himself.
For sure.
and whoever his minions are, and then he would sacrifice his minions.
Yeah, but
that's exactly it.
Yeah, for sure. But he's not the only one. Like,
no, there's plenty of them out there. But
like,
I'm saying in this circumstance, between Uncle Joe
it's the lesser
and Dump Trump, Dump Trump gonna kill you first.
Yeah, but either way, you might die.
I'm just, I think about how when I was growing up in school, they made it very important, knowing your president and knowing the policies and things like that, and your rights and your history and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, we don't have any, we talked about this on the last show. The good people don't want to run because of the crap.
The good people meet with the bad people and the bad people push the good people this way,
the good people turn bad.
Turn to the bad peoples and they mix and you get what we got now. Lord Jesus.
It's horrible. Yeah. It's absolutely horrible. Like, I understand why the I can't remember the generation below me because I'm a millennial, but the generation younger than me. Z. Mm-hmm. I understand this phenomenon of not caring about anything because nothing really matters. Mm-hmm. Because when you really think about it.
Who was talking about that? The girl from Ariel was talking about that.
Who?
Ariel, I'm sorry. From Women to Children's Course.
Yes.
Yeah, she's talking about nihilism.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's horrible. But I understand it because when you feel like you're doing the right thing to move things forward and spreading the word and building a community, and then it only takes one thing to make it crumble, what do you do? And unfortunately, you also have this thing where you're trying to be of the community, but the community is not trying to be the community. So you're left by yourself. It's really sad. And this election, among other elections, because it's not just the presidential election, it's your local elections as well, your state elections, your city and town elections or whatever. We're in these weird spaces now where do these people really care about you? And
I don't know if they ever did, but I hear you. Yeah.
But it's sad because when you're in school, you're taught that these people care about.
And some of them do. That's why we brought up Shanae. There are people who do, but there are too many people who don't. And that's always been the case, which is why we talked in the beginning about the Constitution not being built for everyone. So this is a problem that's occurred since the beginning of time that humanity is slowly hoping to fix. And I don't know if we're getting closer or further away, but there's never been a point in time where everyone, when any honest person is like, politicians are the best people on the planet. No. Like, they always have a negative sentiment, and it is what it is, Yeah. Like, there are some good ones, but the bad outweigh the good, in my opinion.
So, give us the black dads.
Yes, this makes me happy. Yeah. We're going to darken it up, actually, with the black dads.
God.
But no. So, some of you may have already seen this trend. And if
this is my first time seeing it, and Jay was very excited.
So I'm going to actually walk you guys through it to the best of my ability.
Do you have a picture of you in there?
No.
So next week, you got to have one of you.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
So if you haven't seen it,
perhaps.
This has been one of my favorite things recently on the internet.
No, you got to sing that.
What do you mean?
My favorite things. You got to sing.
Oh, these are a few of my favorite things on the internet. Yeah. Black dads holding up their babies. So, no. I'm taking my time on purpose.
It's the mouth noises, the slowly looking up with your hands. It looks like Jesus.
There are certain things that every culture does uniquely, right? Like, Italians have a wonderful way of speaking, and it's their own unique way of doing things. Like, okay, yeah. Black people have their own, and Black people specifically in America, Black Americans, we dance different. Our slang is different. Our swag is different. I love Jamaica. I love Nigeria. All of the people who are highly melanated. But Black Americans do our own thing in a really special way. And these kinds of things are where I am most proud of being a Black man because of this. So here's the first slide, Exhibit A. This is where the Black Dad Challenge came up.
Okay.
Just look at this, all right? You see a picture. How y'all gonna tell me how to hold my baby? We chilling, right?
Oh,
Right?
oh no.
Right? Like,
I don't like that.
So it's a man thing, number one, right? Like men hold their babies different.
Yes.
We're kind of reckless,
Yes.
and we do our own thing, right? But then, you know, as a black man, and you see here, like we have our own kind of swag. That's your baby, but like, yo, we say it how we say it. Like, how y'all gonna tell me how to hold my baby? We chilling, right? All right, bet.
Wear the socks on that baby.
Right. Women are freaking out, but dads are like, yo, we got this.
Put a sweater.
Like all day, every day, I'll be with my kids like, yo, I got this, right? So how you gonna tell me how to hold my baby, right?
Oh no!
We got a response. Yo, you got 40 hours to respond.
48.
You got 48 hours to respond. Right there, just between those two, everybody who's black is like, yo, we understand what this is.
I am
like the assignment is understood, right? Like, oh, word? Like, you got 48 hours to respond. The challenge has been set. Challenge, my Negro. I continue. Now, I because this is a black show, I was gonna bite my tongue, but I'm not because I'm in a certain space. No, nigga, you got 48 hours to respond. You see the picture of the baby, right? Like this is now we are at maximum blackness already, 3 shots in, right? No, nigga, you got 48 hours to respond. He just one up them.
Can I just say, as a mother?
Yes.
I am so uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I am like
this is what dads do. This is dad life, like 100%. Next.
My God. The anxiety.
No, nigga, you got 48 hours to respond, bro.
What?
Is
happening? The child.
Listen.
This is not good.
Listen.
No.
It makes me so happy. You ready? Y'all ready to keep going? All right, here we go.
Oh my. What? No. That's Photoshop, but it's still uncomfortable. I am extremely.
You gotta one up it. You gotta level up. If you can't do it, you gotta do something to figure out how to make it even better. Nah.
What?
Everybody got 48 hours to respond. Let's go.
What is happening right now?
I got more, guys.
No, I don't want more.
It's the best thing on the interwebs.
Okay, that's better. All right.
Niggas got 80 hours.
I'm calm. I'm a lot calmer.
Oh yeah. How about that? Y'all niggas have 72 hours to respond with more weight. Oh, word?
What is going on? Oh, that's my house.
Now y'all got 48 hours to respond. That is literally my house. You understand? So it keeps going, and they're saying, but that's the last one out of the ones that I say. But like,
I love. Okay, so that's
fantastic.
So you and Ish are next.
I could potentially get involved.
So
I don't have, but I don't know how to outdo what's already up there.
You figure
really
it out.
Don't.
You're reckless enough. So you do it, and then you have to tag Jonathan, Ishmael. You got to tag Sam because his son.
Oh, his son's big.
Yes. You gotta tag all the people.
No, it's a fantastic thing, and that's the kind of stuff we'll see. But it makes me really happy. It's fantastic.
Is so dope. I love it. I didn't. No, it's not dope. It's some of them were dope. Some of them scared me. Some of them made me happy.
That's what dads
I'm
do.
uncomfortable, but
dads
also
push
delighted.
The limit. Dads push the limit and make the wives uncomfortable. And black men, we do it our own unique way. And listen, I would love to see like Puerto Rico jump in and do it their own way, like all of the cultures. You know what I mean? But it's a dope challenge. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So this is a little left field, but I thought it was really interesting. So y'all know teachers are amazing, okay? They take care of our babies. They teach our babies. They deal with a lot. And I stumbled upon this article for BuzzFeed that said 28 teachers who were forced to face off with belligerent, demanding, unreasonable parents. So I called Jay a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, about the car line. Mm-hmm. So when I dropped my oldest off in the car line, so it's not really a line. Like you just pull up to the school, drop her off, and keep pushing. But there are times when when people aren't putting their turn signal on to say, I'm coming out of the parking space so that the car behind me can get in. And there have been at least 2 or 3 times where 2 parents will get out of the car, will be in the car with the windows rolled down, screaming at each other with the children in the car, or will get out of the car and attempt to fight. And me and Journey are sitting there like this. What is happening right now? Because it's 8:56 in the morning, and y'all just supposed to be dropping them to get out the car. So I was like, okay, so we're dealing with that. Then I heard about a conference where a parent was yelling at a teacher because the child failed math class, but the child wasn't showing up to school.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you grade someone that's not there? So I just wanted to read a couple of these because I thought it was absolutely ridiculous.
Especially because we're in the time of the year when everyone starts to get heated about the end of the school year. Like teachers are starting to get more on edge. Students are getting more on edge. They want to get outside and just not be in school. So, yeah.
A parent told me she would punch anyone who corrected her daughter in the face in front of the principal, and the principal just sat there.
Yeah. Now, let me be clear. I can't, but I got stories
Listen,
that are well aligned with this. Yeah.
A preschool teacher here. Parent showed up 30 minutes after school closing to get the child and didn't apologize for being late and instead said, I have a real job.
That's not even, that's, dare I say, common, but go ahead.
But I have a real job.
Dare I say common.
Man, listen. Okay. A kid called me slurs multiple times. And it became pretty clear that the student was parenting the language of the parent. When the parent came in, the first thing she called me was a C.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that specifically, but like I got stories on deck.
Man, so what I don't understand. So thinking about my kids, if a teacher called about Journey, saying Journey was disruptive in class, or she's not turning in her homework, she's leaving class, or doing all these things, my first thought is, oh, I'm gonna get this little girl, right? Why
Absolutely.
would I then, instead of thinking about my child acting up in the class where the teacher is already dealing with a bunch of students, why would I turn to the teacher and start acting crazy? You know, like I would handle my child. Have you ever had any encounters like that with parents?
Yes. So listen.
I would never.
It's not uncommon.
But I'm trying to understand, why?
And let me be clear. So number one, my first job ever, and I'm going to bring it from across the whole spectrum, was at an alternative school where a lot of the kids are coming from households that aren't positive. I don't know how to say it. So over and over again there. But on the opposite side, you know, in the private school sector, you have equally entitled parents in a different way who can be just as nasty.
Yeah.
So my point, you know, for someone honestly like you who doesn't work in the school system, this is why teachers are exhausted because, you know, that is a part of the dynamic that never stops. And as someone who has spent literally decades working with kids who struggle with behavior, with maintaining good behavior in the classroom, over and over and over again, not all, but so often it goes back to the house, and teachers are dealing with this every single day. So if you think that these stories are so far out, they're not. You know, I'm not saying like every single parent, but like I guarantee you with every single school, every single day, somebody has a negative interaction with a parent who is out of their minds and mean and nasty for no good reason. I mean, there's always a reason for someone's negative behavior, but like, I ain't do nothing to you, bro. So, yeah.
It's sad. It's really sad. I know Journey came home one time and was talking about how this one kid couldn't read in her grade.
Yeah.
And she was like, how could that happen? And I was like, not everybody has parents like you who help them.
The amount of times that I've sat next to a kid and helped, like when I say a kid, I mean someone who is either, I mean like basically between Journey's age and older, the amount of times that I've sat down with children and just sounded out basic words, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. And I asked, I was like, what is he like in class? And she was like, oh, he's bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang.
And you are walking this fine line where it's like, on one hand, it's if a child is 10 and can't read, that is not the child's fault. unless there's a
Right.
significant documented learning disability. Otherwise, it's because of what's going on at home. So the teacher is having to not only do their best to manage a child who is way behind, but it's like when you call home, you either get no response
Right.
at all
Or a nasty
or a
one.
nasty attitude. And that is difficult to deal with for decades, 8 hours a day. You know, the parent isn't there for decades, but like that dynamic as a part of your job for, you know, if you're a 30-year teacher in the system,
Yeah.
this is why it's hard. This is part of why it's hard to keep teachers. Man.
And something I was thinking about. So my son, I don't think I've ever said this on the show. My son is autistic.
You have.
And I have?
Mhm.
Okay. So when we first were dealing with some of his outbursts and things in class, I remember the director, who is one of my great friends now. Hey, Mr. Brandon. He was calling me like every day. And you remember, I was so frustrated because I'm like, well, what are y'all doing to him? Like, what's going on? And I never lashed out. I was like very frustrated because when he came home, he was great. But the minute we dropped him off, maybe 2 hours later, they were calling us like, oh, he's kicked somebody in the face, or he don't want to nap and he's disrupting the class. And I'm like, so what's going on? Can you give me a play-by-play? Can you show me the videos? What was happening beforehand? Where's his sister? And we sat down almost every week having conversations with the director and the teachers about how to move forward. And like, it got down to writing out a list. Okay, this is what's happening during each part of the day. This is how he's acting during these parts of the day. What can we do to help him? And this was before our diagnosis. And although it was frustrating trying to understand their side of things and them trying to understand my side of things, the ultimate goal was to make sure that my son was okay and figuring out how to help him. And for me, it was never an option to go and cuss them out because they've ruined my son or this, or that. It was, I don't want them to be exhausted, because that was the other thing. I was worried about them being exhausted they're already dealing with a class of like 20 toddlers. We all know how toddlers are. But then on top of that, now they have this one child who is causing a ruckus and throwing things off. I really do feel for teachers and you know.
So let me say this. My brother left his school in the middle of high school because he felt that he was in a racist environment and didn't like it. And there was some truth to how he felt. So he went to a different school with the hopes of escaping this. And
Your brother?
Yeah. And he joined the wrestling team. And the wrestling coach straight up called him the N-word.
Oh.
So there is a place where a teacher can get cussed out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's be clear.
Oh yeah.
Like there are terrible people everywhere, and there are some horrible teachers who deserve to be cussed out.
I told you having my dad.
But they are not the majority. So number one, always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
More importantly, is know your school and know your child.
Yeah.
So my son I've gotten several phone calls and emails from my son's school because of his behavior. I know my son, and I went to the school where he's at, so I more or less know how that school moves. And when I hear that so-and-so did this, I'm like, oh yeah, not only is that my son, but that's also what I would have done. So I'm like,
so you're the problem.
So it's like, I can't be mad. Like, I can't be like, yo, why are you calling me? I'm working and I have things to do and I can't respond to all of this. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could be my attitude. Like, listen, I have some stuff to do. This is your job. We pay you guys good money to take care of these kids. I don't want to hear about it. You fix it. And that's your problem. Right. I'm sorry he's not acting up, but unless there's a problem, you know what I mean? I could do that, but no. Right. Like, this is a two-way street. Like, the parent has to participate in the child's education. I know you just want to drop them off and be like, all right, bet, you're out. But no, you need to know the school so that when and if you get a call or have a problem, that you know how to juggle it between, okay, how much of this is my child and how much of it can be fixed at the school and how much and is the school in any part at fault for this, and does something need to change?
Yeah.
So you gotta, weigh all of these different things. It's not easy, but you got to.
And something that was like that I thought about in having a conversation with someone, a lot of these parents react this way because they had experiences in school where the teachers were attacking them and were treating them poorly. So their first initial reaction,
because they're just tired and they have a terrible.
That too, but like some of them have that, like, oh no, I don't believe them because I remember how I was treated. So F them, F the system. It's just really sad. And I appreciate our teachers at the schools my kids go to. They're doing so well. And we try to be as active as possible, and making sure that we know what's going on. We check their book bags. I check their homework. I talk to their teachers, receiving updates, being transparent about what's going on at home. Like when I went away, I made sure to speak to the school officials and the teachers to let them know, listen, I'm going away. I have no worries that they're going to do fine in school, but I know that it'll take an emotional, it'll be different for them emotionally. So they may, have some changes in their mood, but I made sure to talk to the school about that. So it's a two-way street, just make sure you guys are showing your love to the teachers and the school staff if they're doing right by your kids, of course. But okay, are we ready for everyone's favorite segment? Florida. But it's not in Florida, it's in New York.
Tell me when to bring it up.
Okay, hold on. So y'all have heard about in Florida how people just be having alligators and snakes in their pools and in their houses, and be like having like leopards and crap as their pets chained up in their backyard. Well, in New York City, a 750-pound alligator was seized after complaints were filed about him swimming with neighborhood children. Go ahead and show the picture. This is Albert. He's 34 years old, 11 feet, 750 pounds. And that is his home where he lives and swims and plays in the neighborhood. He was seized on Wednesday because members of the community were afraid of the fact that the owner was allowing him to swim with children and people within the community. Look at this. This is an in-ground indoor pool. That's Albert.
Should I go to the other one?
It's Fat Albert.
Yeah.
The owner is up in arms. He was on the interwebs talking about how
the alligator was not up in arms.
That's a T-Rex. Alligators actually have nice size.
No, they don't. Yes, Are you kidding me?
Yes, they do.
Alligators have short, stubby arms.
They're not as bad.
Maybe not.
They're not as bad.
How is this a relative thing? Alligators, I'm not talking about T-Rexes. Alligators have short arms.
I know, but you did the T-Rex arm thing.
Okay, sorry.
Don't here. Don't disrespect Albert's arm.
Yeah, they're both short-armed lizards, but sure, go ahead and continue about Al.
So the owner was upset. He said, I only lost my license. It expired in 2021. So, I just didn't get it renewed because of all these issues that y'all created when you changed the laws. And the thing is, there are no laws in New York that say that you can actually have that animal in those conditions. Like if you have like an actual business with certain territory or whatever, you could probably have the animal. But there are no laws that say, oh yeah, you can have an alligator in your house, in your swimming pool. Also, he said that Albert is very well taken care of. Well, actually, he is blind in both eyes and has a significant spinal complication.
What?
Which means that he was malnourished.
Nourished?
Nourished, what? Malnourished.
Nourished.
Nourished? Malnourished. It's an accent. Malnourished.
Okay.
Nourished.
Cool.
What'd you say?
No, we'll stick with you. Malnourished.
You're terrible.
So,
And Other members of the community are standing up for him, saying that Albert is a gentle and kind alligator.
Sounds about white.
I just poor Albert. What?
I didn't do that.
I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Albert. Not only is this 34-year-old been stuck, cooped up in this house with this crazy man, but he blind and got back issues.
I am very insensitive.
Did you show the other picture?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pull that up. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I am not sensitive to pets in general, so it's really hard for me to be objective about this because, like, listen, I understand how we've domesticated like dogs and cats and how that works, but like once you get past that, I don't generally understand why you would want to take a wild animal and make it fit into our, crappy existences, because even humans are clearly suffering from like, our current lifestyles. Like we sit around too much, we eat the wrong food. So you're going to bring everybody, like, why would you make an alligator want to have to function that way too? You know what I'm saying? Like it clearly doesn't belong inside of a house. It wants to be out in the lake or river or whatever the heck doing its, it's free alligator thing. So I don't understand it at all. I don't understand snakes, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, why would y'all do that?
Who would want to swim in that? Swim there with him?
No, that person's out of their mind.
But apparently it was a bunch of kids and people. What? Let me tell you something. The way I would black mom that situation.
Well, the people who did but the people who are complaining, like they have sense.
He's a gentle creature.
It's an alligator. It's a monster.
Alone.
It's a 750-pound monster.
11 feet. 11 feet. Did you see them pictures? Did you see that picture of that monster?
Can I hold on? Let me see if I can.
Look at that.
No, but I think I can do this.
Look at that. Look at him.
Hold on. Come on now.
Oh my God. That is terrifying.
It's just...
And look at that pool. Child.
Yeah.
And it's stinking his house. His house stinks.
Listen, people are crazy. And I don't really have, I don't understand it.
That is in New York.
Yeah.
Child. So right now, Albert is in the care of a different home, a different facility, and probably is getting some good food and heating. So an expert chimed in and was like, his spinal injuries are probably because he's not getting the right UV rays, because he's a reptile. And if you don't know anything about reptiles, they need the sun.
Man, all animals matter, but the idea that we're going to be spending resources on a blind, broke-back alligator... I can't see it. No, but I really don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, that alligator would have, might not have, I don't know what the general, I guess alligators can live for a long time.
Yes, they can.
So that's a little bit different, but like.
Yes. I wonder why he hadn't bit him. He probably did.
He can't find, wait.
Why are you like this? I bet you he probably did bite him at some point and he just didn't report it or something because he didn't want to lose him. But ain't no way he's 34 years old and he ain't bit that man.
I have tasted alligator meat before. It's delicious.
I didn't like it.
It's delicious to me.
And I feel bad talking about Albert knowing that I had bitten into an alligator. But even though he was biting to me.
It's a nice blend of chicken.
I would have been a toothpick. I probably would have been picking the stuff out of his teeth. I ain't got no meat on me.
Take like a heavy, meaty fish and mix it with chicken.
Heavy, meaty fish.
Yeah. What's like a nice, thick fish?
What is?
I don't know. But like that alligator could feed the masses. You know what I'm saying?
That alligator could eat the masses.
So what are we doing here, guys? I don't know. But I'm just glad that no one has been injured by Al the alligator.
Last thing, someone in the community was saying, of all the things to worry about in the world, you're picking on this innocent man and his pet alligator.
Yeah, that person's wrong.
This is wildly an American problem.
Mm-hmm.
Wildly. Thank you for watching Naj and Jay. We love you. And also, if we like your event, We will come and we will see. And we may not leave early. If there are drinks, we really won't. We'll stay a long time.
Yeah.
We love you watching. See you next week. And also look out for our interview with Brandon Furrow, who just recently dropped his gospel album. And we're going to talk all about that process. And
I suspect that we'll go live Thursday night with that, to be honest.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, since it'll be at the Casita, like it'll just be simple to do that.
Okay. So well, get ready.
Keep your eyes peeled Thursday night for a live video with
Brandon.
Brandon.
All right, y'all have a wonderful week. We'll see you soon. Bye.